Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we've got something interesting. I recently stumbled upon this at my local Ollies, so I wanted to quickly get a review up for it so that if anybody was out there interested in grabbing it, you could go grab it while it's still there if your store has it. Again, it's kind of, a toss-up when it comes to Ollies, but it's like a really weird little dinosaur book. You can see, again, it's got some pretty cool images and stuff here on the front, but you also have a window area here, and you can see it has 4 figurines inside. So once you open it up, you can see there are actually 4 little miniature dinosaurs in here, which do look pretty cool. We also have a Carnotaurus over here, so instantly that's awesome. But again, it's pretty neat looking. It's obviously not the greatest thing in the world. It's not super high quality or anything like that. And you can see it's for 3 years and up, so it's obviously focused more toward younger children. But it was the mini dinosaurs specifically that kind of caught my eye and made me want to grab it. So I'm going to open it up real quick and we'll check out these minis. So we have everything out of the box, and of course one of the selling points of this set is the book that's included. You can see some pretty cool, images and everything here on the front of the book. Obviously, it's not going to be like the most impressive book ever because it's something that is aimed toward children, but I really quite love books like this because one of the best parts about it is it gives you lots of beautiful dinosaur art and images and stuff. And, sometimes I'll even use books like this to kind of find inspiration for different paint schemes and stuff that I'll use. So that's definitely something that books like this are very handy for. But you can see, again, as we move through, it's pretty cool. It's got lots of really nice images and stuff, and you can see some pretty sweet looking Allosaurus over here off to the side. Each one has kind of like a little bit of a different color scheme to it, but definitely a fun little book, again, that's included, and nothing too over incredible. Wow, that T-Rex is actually quite incredible, so I kind of take that back. But it's still pretty fun, again, to have something like this included, but it's not the exact reason why I purchased this set. And the actual reason is because there were minis included, and now actually having these out of the packaging and taking a look at them, I have absolutely seen these before, but I don't know where. I can't focus. There we go. I can't quite pinpoint where I've seen these figures in the past, but they are absolutely dino figures that I have seen. So they have appeared in some other set. If you guys know where they're from, definitely let me know. But you can see, again, we've got a Spinosaurus included. It's a green Spino. It has kind of like a dark purplish tone for the sail. It absolutely is very Jurassic Park 3 looking as far as the sculpt goes. Obviously not picture perfect, but it does have that same similar style to it as far as like a JP3 Spinosaurus goes. The overall texturing is okay, but not really all that impressive. One thing I think that is fairly impressive, though, is like the muscle definition, and just some of the structure of the figure does look pretty good. But again, nowhere near an accurate Spinosaurus, especially by today's standards, but pretty cool for what it is as far as like a little mini goes. There is also a Velociraptor here, and the Velociraptor is also pretty much definitively Jurassic Park based. You can see it looks like it crawled out of a Jurassic Park movie. Maybe not color scheme wise, but this one would probably be pretty fun to actually repaint and give like the Lost World JP colors to, or even the original Jurassic Park colors. Same thing with this one though. The texturing is there, but it's not super impressive. However, again, there are some nice fine details like the musculature. You can even kind of see the rib cage in the stomach region. The paintwork on these figures, really isn't that great. It's really quite sloppy. You can see the teeth are not well painted. Also, some of the paint ran up there onto the upper jaw. The claws are painted, and they look okay down there, but when you come up to the hands, you can see super sloppy as far as that paintwork goes. One thing about this one you can notice as well is the tail is really quite short, so proportion-wise, the Raptor's not that great. We've also got ourselves a T-Rex, which actually has even worse proportions than the Raptor. Look at how tiny his little tail is. Obviously, whoever made this figure was hanging out out with Mattel because they don't care much for the tail length on their dinosaurs. But the T-Rex also has a very Jurassic Park look to it, and not so much, again, as far as the colors go, unless you're looking at it as being a male, but it still does look pretty cool, I guess, for what it is. But I would say the T-Rex is actually probably the weakest link out of the entire set that I can see. Again, we haven't taken a look at the Carno down there yet, but it looks okay, actually, from this side. Looks worse for some reason from this side. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but you've got some tiny little fingers down there that are kind of held close together and super sloppily painted. We do have the claws on the feet painted. Doesn't look like we have the dew claw painted, unfortunately, which is not a surprise. But we basically have a mixture of greens, lighter for the lower part, you know, a bit darker, but not really dark for the upper part. You also actually have a white spot on the eye to kind of insinuate eye shine, I guess, or maybe that's just meant to be the pupil. I don't know, but either way, the T-Rex is okay, but not really that great. And then we, of course, have the Carnotaurus, which is the one that I would be most interested in, and he as well is pretty silly looking, but still kind of fun. Again, I actually quite like the color scheme of this one, and the fact that they actually put a little bit more as far as like a little patterning and stuff to this one compared to some of the others. We also have the mouth wide open with the teeth showing in there, which are also sloppily painted. We have the eye. Again, overall, none of these are going to be award-winning figures, and for the most part, this one as well has a really cheap feel to it. They didn't even paint the claws for some reason on the Carnotaurus either, but it's still kind of fun for what it is. It's just not anything, again, worth running out and grabbing unless you really are in the mood for some new minis. But I would say that's pretty much it. We don't need to go over too much as far as this goes. I think we'll just bring in like a mini here for a comparison. And here we have a Mattel Parasaurolophus, and actually over here you can see a Captives Indoraptor whose head is turned. But that shows you that these minis are right there in the same size range as, you know, your standard, actually kind of older Mattel minis, because the minis from Mattel were a bit larger back then. And, of course, the Captives figures. So if you have any of those, you're absolutely going to know what the size is. And the Indoraptor fell over, but what the size is of these figures here. So overall, not the greatest set in the world, but if it is something you are interested in, head to your local Ollies and grab it while it's still there. If it even is, because, again, Ollies is so hit or miss as far as what one store stocks compared to another. But check your local store. You might be able to grab them. And, of course, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.